I'm Angela Hockman, your host of In the Kitchen on STL TV. And as you can see, we are in my kitchen. And have I got a dish for you? Okay, so convenience and being healthy, it's kind of the name of the game in our house. We've got a very active 1-year-old, and while I love to cook, I don't always have time. I was telling our producer, if I waited until dinner time to even think about what we'd be having, that'd be terrible. We'd be having cereal for dinner. There's nothing wrong with that. But today, we are going to make One-Pot Nacho Lasagna. I know, get ready. Hold on to your hats, you guys. Basically, we are gonna mix a lot of flavors, a little bit Mexican, a little bit Italian. We're gonna fuse it together and you will have a dish that is so hearty and so yummy, the whole family is gonna go bonkers. So, let's get a quick shot of what we're gonna be working with today. As I mentioned, lasagna is a key ingredient. But the fun of this is that we're not gonna use the long strips. Instead, I break apart these lasagna noodles so that they're like chips, okay? Because who doesn't love chips? So first up, we are going to ground up some meat. And for cooking show magic, I pre-prepped and I did a little bit of grounding of the meat and I added my absolute favorite spice, thanks Vivianos, fennel. I love me a whole fennel seed. So we are going to continue browning this up. And you can use turkey meat. I chose grass-fed ground beef. I like the way it sautés. I just think it's got a nice hearty flavor. And it cooks really well and your whole house smells amazing. And what we do to kick it up, because it's not regular ground beef, it's cool ground beef, we are going to add salsa, my favorite. If you've seen my episodes, you know I throw it in at least one episode every month. So we're gonna add this salsa. And like everything I cook, I improvise. I'm very much a believer of find something that works with your pantry, with your budget, with your flavor palette, and use it. Like recipes are a great idea, but I by no means follow them to a T, like ever. So basically we're going to stir, stir, stir. We're gonna let this cook a little bit more, and the salsa is going to evaporate into the ground beef to give it a really, really nice full flavor. So we'll be right back. Okay, so let's check on this ground beef. I believe everything is absorbed in here. You can't smell it, but I can, and it smells delightful. So what we're gonna do, we're going to remove this from the heat, okay? Push aside the meat. We're gonna bring in the big boy. Again, this is where all the magic is happening, okay? You don't need a crock pot, you don't even need your oven. All you need is this wonderful pot. So we're gonna add about 1 3/4 cups, so just under 2 cups of water, okay? Up next, we add the tomato sauce. Again, use any kind that floats your boat. So we're gonna add this one in. And then next up, you know me, you know I love my spices. Organic ground cumin from Trader Joe's. You cannot go wrong. I like to add a little extra because, like I said, I love spices. I love a good flavor. And so we're gonna pop that in. We're going to add a little bit of, this is about a ½ teaspoon of sea salt. Again, you can use kosher salt. You can use regular Morton salt. I like sea salt just because, I don't know, it's fun to say. And it might be a little bit fancy, but I don't know. I'm not that fancy. Okie doke. Okay. So we're gonna just stir this up just a little bit before we really get into adding all of the yummy ingredients. So we're gonna let this boil. It'll probably take about 5 minutes or so. We're gonna let it come to a nice gentle boil, and then we're gonna have some fun with lasagna chips. All right, my friends, let's check this out. I hear and smell some tomato sauce a-boiling. So again, this was just the tomato sauce, water, cumin, and sea salt. You let it boil like this for just a minute. We're gonna turn the heat down, but not completely off. And then we are going to add some of the fun stuff, okay? Remember that yummy fennel-filled ground beef with salsa? Well, here we go. We're gonna add it to the sauce. Be careful, splattering can happen. Oh, yummy, yummy, yum, yum, yum. I wish you could smell my house. Okay, We're gonna give that a little stir, and we're gonna kick up the fiber and the protein content. And we are gonna add black beans. These have been rinsed and drained. So here we go. Just a 15-ounce can is perfect. And honestly, my dad tried this once with refried beans, and it was really, really good. So again, you cannot go wrong. Pick a meat that you like. Pick a bean that you like. Pick a salsa that you like and make it yours. You know what? I'm not like, this is the end all be all. It is not. This is your little palette. Here we go. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook for just a minute. And then here's my favorite part, okay? Remember I said we're gonna have some fun with these lasagna noodles? Well, we are creating chips. And what I did, I broke about, this is like 6 or 7 sheets of lasagna noodles. Break them up so that they're like little chips, right? How cute is that? But they get cooked in here too. So we slowly add the lasagna noodles. And this can take a little bit to cook. So I would give it a nice 12-ish minutes or so until they're nice and soft. But this part of the recipe, I'm actually gonna add one more sheet because, you know, who doesn't like a good lasagna noodle? I thought that the only way to cook pasta was in a big pot with gently salted water, and you just drop in the noodles. I had no idea that pasta will cook. It'll get really soft and delicious, but not overcooked. In this big, wonderful pot with only a little bit of water, but everything else. These things can be really sharp, so be careful when you're breaking them. But they are fun to do. And if you have to get out, you know, any anger or stress, just break them, okay? So that is about, we'll say 8 sheets roughly of lasagna noodles. And again, we're gonna turn up the heat to about medium. We're gonna let this thing simmer, and we're gonna just let it cook. Believe it or not, we are almost finished, and all we need to do is add the topping. Okay, I can definitely tell that this is ready. So let's take a nice peek here. Oh my gosh, how good is this? See, these noodles got so soft, and it only took about 12 minutes or so in a little bit of water, the meat, the black beans, the tomato sauce, and those yummy, yummy spices. So let's turn off the heat. Let's add the cheese. I've just got some shredded mozzarella today. Again, use whatever you want. So we're gonna add some cheese, stirring a little bit as we go. And fun fact, if you want, before you add the cheese, you can put this dish in a casserole dish, top it with the cheese, and bake it or even broil it for about 5 minutes or so. It will melt the cheese. It's so good that way. If you're like me and you're like, I'm hungry, let's eat now. We don't have time for that. And guess what? It's perfectly fine this way too. So, oh my gosh, look at the way this cheese is melting. The heat is off. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna get myself a little bowl here. And again, as you can tell from the steam, this is going to be piping hot. So we'll start with just a little bit. Okay, fine, like I guess I'll have a little more. Okie dokie. Oh, I just love the cheese, the way it melts, it's like a commercial. Okay, and again, I'm Italian, so I add Parmesan cheese on everything. So I'm gonna add just a little bit here. Just take a minute. Let's just take a minute, take it all in. This is so wonderful smelling. Okay, so let's blow on it for just a minute because this thing looks crazy hot. All right, so my friends, this is the moment of truth. I'm going to test my work. I outdid myself. What are you gonna do? Okay, everyone, you have been watching STL TV. I'm Angela Hockman on In the Kitchen. Today, we made One-Pot Nacho Lasagna. And I can't thank you enough for tuning in, for sharing your time with me. Check us out on all things social media. We got all sorts of fun programming, and we will see you next time.